Assalamu alaikum everybody. Today I'm just going to talk about a very common topic because so many ladies was asking me and they were saying that I should make a video on toilet training. It's a very common issue because in old ages there wasn't any kind of diaper and people and kids had to do their pee and poo, and they started to train, you can say, naturally and earlier as compared to our children now. So I have trained my child, my daughter as well. So I thought that now I should upload how I trained my child. In it the method varies with the nature of child and with your situation and your things. But in my case, it was very simple and easy. Though it's very difficult for so many mothers. So this commode you have seen in the picture, the pink one and the white was, because my daughter's favorite color was pink. When she was 6 months old and she started to sit, at that moment I just went to the store and I bought this one. And she was very happy when I bought this one. She given the gesture of giggling and that kind of stuff now. And at that time I just started to tell her that this is a commode and you'll have to pee and poo in future in this. So with the passage of time, she became so friendly to the commode and she knew it that it's something I'll have to use in the future. So I didn't force her, at once that you'll have to do pee and poo in this. No, I just that was in my mind that I'll have to educate her gradually, because once she'll have to use it, that's why now I think from the start I should educate her accordingly, and I'll let her know that this is the commode and this is the basic trait of her life, and that can you can say whatever you say. So that was my first step. So I bought the commode so very earlier, and I kept it around her where she frequently used to see that. And ultimately she was very friendly to the commode. So the time was passing, and she mostly asked what is this, and she was understanding that. So after when she turned 2.5 years old, then I once one day I said, Zoha, that you'll have to do poo in that. In the beginning she resisted me, and she was wearing the diaper and she started to do poo in the commode while sitting in the diaper. So thank God I was the one who trained our child first for the poo, not for the pee. Normally people start their train their child first for pee, but I went for poo first because poo happens oftenly. So that was easy for me to make understand that you'll have to use this. So he started to use that. And once first she was doing poo in the diaper, and she just marked the place that I have to sit on the commode, and in that way I'll have to do this. And after some time, when she was so frequent in her that habit, after that once I removed the diaper and I said, Zoa, now you'll have to do poo poo directly into the commode. So once she hesitate, and after some time she just okay with that, and she started to do that as well. So she was trained for the poo in this commode, and it was very easy. uh, you know it has a box down there, and it's a very soft seat over it, and she used to sit over this, and he was doing her poo in that, and I just watched in that. Okay, and it really worked for me, and she was not fussy about that kind of thing. So she was doing that gradually. After that, when she was trained for the poo poo, and then I did wait for the summer season. When summer season started, then in the summers I wanted to train her for the pee, because she was already trained for the poo. She did her poo in the commode, and but she was peeing in the diaper. And then in the summers, once I removed the diaper and I said, now you'll have to pee in the commode as well. But till that time she was so sensible and she was so friendly to the commode. But you'll have to wait for one thing, that it takes time to get your child's bladder habitual to that reflex. Because when your child's urinary bladder is not fixed, can say not going to connect with the reflex, it will not work in that way. Your child will do pee again and again and again, because it will take time to get habitual. And slowly and gradually, when your brain will come to know that child is going to pee in the commode, not in the diaper, then it will start to store the pee in the bladder, and gradually the reflex developed, and ultimately after some time the pee started stored in the bladder, and then the child will go for the pee, not so often, normally in like routine. So be patient for that thing. And secondly, now she is trained for these both things, and that's the way I have used it. And if you are a frequent traveler, then you will have to wait for 3 years. First you'll have to wait for 2 to 3 years, let your child grown up. Don't force her to do it right now. You can wait for 2 or 3 years, then go when the child will be able to understand whatever you're going to talk about. And now she's now on that commode. It's very handy. I use this blue commode, I take it along everywhere, and she now using it. It's very comfortable, and she can use it everywhere. So that was my toilet training story of my child. And you can do along if you feel that my story was helpful, because I first trained for the poo when she was 2 years old, and when there was summer, and after a few days I just started to train her for pee, and now mashallah she is fine and she is using it, and she didn't create any fuss, and it was so easy for me to train her in that way. And now I'm using that blue commode, and I text it every